Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our digital transformation series with IBM. I am Gary Cohen.
I'm Chris Favreau.
We're both with Control Engineering. In this video series, we'll be discussing many topics about digital transformation in manufacturing with IBM experts Surya, Vamsi, Miriyala, and Brett Hillhouse. Brett Hillhouse is the global automotive and aerospace leader for IBM sustainability software. His responsibility includes industry and technology strategy, as well as customer success for automotive companies around the world. His 25 plus years of industry experience includes transformation engagements at global automotive and aerospace OEMs and tier one suppliers. Surya Vamsi Miriyala is a go-to-market product manager for IBM Maximo with more than 7 years of experience in manufacturing, particularly within the automotive and food and beverage sectors. He spearheaded digital transformation projects for leading firms like Caterpillar and Coca-Cola, utilizing IIoT software such as PTC ThingWorx and IBM Maximo to advance connected factories, energy management, and predictive maintenance. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Chris and Gary.
Hey guys, thank you for having us.
So in this first video, we're going to primarily be talking about just a general overview of digital transformation and the adoption of digital transformation in manufacturing. So let's go ahead and dive in. What do you identify as the main drivers for adopting digital transformation within your manufacturing operations?
I think what we see a lot from clients is, they're always looking for operational efficiency gains of one sort or another. They sometimes come from the maintenance side of things, the trying to get to zero downtime, but oftentimes it's also about getting rid of the warranty and, problems that they have on the shop floor. So fewer defects, fewer problems with that, but also it's got to be the throughput. I mean, bottom line, you got to get product out the door. Surya?
Yeah. So basically for me to adopt the digital transformation, I would say the key drivers, or rather I would call them as a pain points that I would be hearing from the clients are basically the manual execution and tracking of the processes. So they use a lot of, paper and registers to record the transactions that happen, let it be in terms of operations, maintenance, inventory, and other areas. So basically there is no visibility what's happening in the shop floor, and there is no visibility to the KPIs that are happening throughout the day in my shop floor. So apart from that, there is lack of workforce productivity due to mundane tasks that they do day in and day out. And also there is, as Brett said, the zero D is something which is driving this digital transformation, the zero defects and zero downtime.
Now, you'd already kind of touched on some of the benefits. What other benefits of digital transformation do you think resonate most with manufacturers, and why are these benefits particularly impactful?
I'll go first. So I think some of the impacts, around defects, et cetera, is a big deal. I think that's pretty obvious, but it's also how you get to root cause on these things so that they don't happen again. So what Surya is talking about here is how do I take the information that I might have in there and use it to be more effective in my manufacturing processes, even changing your processes. But if you don't realize that there's problems with maintenance on a particular operation because you have separation of responsibilities there, it's something that's just very common on the shop floor, is that I've got manufacturing ops and I've got maintenance guys, and they don't always work together and share the information. And therefore, digital transformation starts to make that happen and just naturally allows the data from both sides to be able to work together and really change things in a more cohesive manner than they do today.
I completely agree with what Brett said. I would add 4 key points here, as I would call as benefits. So the first one would be, increasing your process efficiency. You're investing your time in a lot of non-value added processes, which you don't realize. So by eliminating those NVAs, you actually focus on what's actually needed for your customer. So the value added activity is something for what customer will pay you for. So focusing on value added activities and eliminating NVAs will directly impact your productivity. Apart from that, asset utilization is the second key benefit. There might be a lot of untapped capacity that you are unable to realize because of so many losses that you are incurring in your production processes. Because you don't have visibility, you cannot overcome those losses and you will still keep running with the reduced capacity. With digital transformation, you will get some good insights, utilize those capacity to the extent that you can and provide more value to the customer. So apart from that, there'll be a lot of cost reduction opportunities. So you'll get insights to your operational costs, you will be impacting your maintenance costs, you are reducing your downtime with 0D will impact your downtime costs, and the warranty and rework cost with the zero defects. So these are some key drivers that will actually impact the benefits that you actually realize from the digital transformation.
Makes sense. Let's try to make this practical. Can you provide a specific example of how digital transformation delivered a positive impact for a client and talk through what were some of the short and long-term results of that?
Let me talk through one that's kind of a short-term one. Surya talked a little bit about inventory, and I think inventory is an interesting one because, I mean, I had the head of a major automotive company. He had just come as their plant manager for one of their largest plants and was promoted. And I just brought up the idea of shadow inventory and stuff, and I was a little bit, leery of claiming that they have shadow inventory around maintenance and stuff because he just was running the plant. And he just started laughing. He's like, yeah, shadow inventory is real. We know we have tens of millions of it now. We're looking at just getting the data that we have on what's already been taken out of inventory and put in the shadow area because, hey, the maintenance guy was afraid that he'd have some of these parts taken away. So he bought them, they stuck them in a back room, and now we're having to catalog them and figure them out. But there's literally, tens of millions at each plant where they're doing that kind of thing. So just sometimes it's just as simple as just starting to get your hands around your operation as well as what is the real data associated with my inventory. And that's just a simple, quick hit.
Since Brett spoke about inventory, I would like to pick an operations example from my past experience. So when I was working in Caterpillar, I was the production manager for the machine shop where we had around 44 CNC machines. So each and every day after the completion of the shift, operator used to write a job card, which is a piece of paper, how much of parts he have produced and what are the standard hours that he has generated. At the end of the day, we had to accumulate everything in an Excel sheet and then convert it into reports, analyze all the losses on the next day. By implementing this digital transformation, we were able to visualize all these data in the real time. So during a shift, if a supervisor can see that my machine is stopped for more than 30 minutes, you can automatically trigger an email and warn that, hey, your machine is stopped, go take some action and, keep the machine up and running. These kind of real-time visibility will actually help you realize, and we had actually improved our OEE by 10% within 6 months. So with the visibility that we have got, the losses that we are incurring, we used to categorize those losses into 7 types as per the TPM standards. So attacking each and every loss had helped us realize the value of OEE, which is your overall equipment effectiveness, by almost 10%. And in the long term, we had also incorporated the digitization of job cards where operators used to write on a piece of paper. We had digitized it, and we are also started incentivizing operators with the number of standard hours that they are producing. So by increasing the production output, the operators are getting rewarded. This is what have driven them, to actually adopt this and cultivate this culture of new ways of working.
I have one more I'll add in because I think these are all kind of different ways of seeing some results. Another one has been around defect management and just finding the defects instead of finding them at the inspection point. So often in these large factories, they'll bring an automobile or vehicle or a complex product, and they'll have an inspection station somewhere along the line, whether it's halfway finished, all the way finished, whatever part that they're doing at that particular moment. But they'll have an inspection station, they'll find a problem and they'll fix the problem. But what they're not fixing is that how do you know every other one isn't going to be the same way, right? You got to start checking because you're not fixing it at the point of the problem. And, it could be as simple as a person is, doing something wrong or a tool is out of specification at that point. So just being able to find errors on the line and using things like machine vision with, AI capabilities that are just so fast and so much more accurate than what we've seen out there before. And tying it into the MES system, not just having it as a separate inspection thing, I tie it into my manufacturing operations such that I shut that line down and I fix the problem once instead of having to fix it many times at the inspection point.
So you've described digital transformation having a positive impact on large manufacturers. Can you describe how digital transformation can help, small to mid-tier manufacturers, get those benefits they need?
I think it's absolutely appropriate what we both stated. I think for both small and medium business as well as large. I happen to give some large examples, but working with a tier 2 in Detroit, we've done similar things with regards to the inventory management. And honestly, I think the being able to find the defects, just being able to do it with the machine vision capabilities, with zero coding, not having to have, really high skills in that area that an operator can put in these kinds of defect, seeing machines that can just pull this together is very impressive. And it's definitely one that we're seeing going down market very quickly through some of our partners. IBM might not be directly involved in those, but we see a lot happening at the mid-market.
Apart from the example that I've given, so there are also the small and mid-sized manufacturers that can actually realize value by adopting digital transformation. So as I give an operations example, so if you apply similar example to a small and mid-based manufacturers, the adoption rate is actually quick because they are tier 2. They will be having a mass production or continuous production. The value that they realize would actually be much more quicker compared to the previous example or the large manufacturer that I've quoted. So adopting these visibility, transparency, and digital transformation, that will actually unlock few areas where you can tap the unrealized potential within your operations, maintenance, and other key focus areas.
I have to agree with that. I mean, what you stated about the speed of it happening is so true in the smaller organizations. It's often so much inertia in the big companies that it takes a lot longer. But yeah, I like that. Good example.
That definitely makes sense. It sounds like, there's a great deal of potential in the future for digital transformation. But thank you very much, Brett and Surya, for your insights today. That was great information. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, Control Eng TV, which has additional interviews with thought leaders and experts. You also can find a link to our control engineering website for additional content on digital transformation and other topics. I'm Chris Favreau.
I'm Gary Cohen.
Thanks for watching this video.